In this video, I will present you the 32 best prospects of the upcoming draft and give you my thoughts on where they rank and link them to potential landing spots. Young looks like a natural passer. He can deliver the ball from every body position to place the ball where he wants to and has A+ pocket presence, fluent hips and great processing speed. In the 2021 season he graded a 92.2 per PFF and won the Heisman Trophy. Young has got the it factor that so many teams are looking for. In 2020 Stroud played a measly 8 snaps. Last year he was the guy on a center and developed his game during the season to an elite level where he was one of the most accurate quarterbacks. Stroud has an A+ release and can add some serious zip to the ball. An excellent passer who can expect a phone call within a few minutes of the draft start. Addison should have been in the Heisman conversation last year. He's an absolute force in the trenches for Alabama, where he terrorizes opposing tackles. I definitely could plead the case that he was the number 1 overall pick had he been eligible in the 2022 draft. Tanner McKee belongs in the 2018 recruiting class, but he took a 2-year mission trip and that's why the 2021 season was his first where he was a starter for Stanford. He's famous for his live arm and 6'6" frame and processing speed. The talent is there, but he needs to put up more tape to show he's a first-round prospect. This guy is so twitchy for a guy his size that I can see him picked in the top 5 to 10 range. He can stop the run and rush the passer and is better than Devonte Wyatt and Jordan Davis were at this moment last year if you look at the complete package that every player brings to the table. The LSU wideout his season was cut short due to an injury, but nonetheless he should be the first wide receiver to be taken off the board in the 2023 draft. Boutte is explosive and has the trait you just can't learn: speed, a heck of an athlete who reminds many football fans of Jamar Chase. Gilbert was a 5-star recruit and was the number 10 overall player in the 2020 recruiting class. He did not play in 2021 due to personal reasons. Rumor has it that he just misses family. Athletically and size-wise, he belongs in the same category as Kyle Pitts. Johnson is a former top safety recruit converted to cornerback. He is considered to be very explosive and is a heck of a tackler with his amazing closing speed to the ball carrier. Currently, he's playing in the slot for Texas A&M. But if he gets more snaps as an outside corner or safety, he will be the number 1 defensive back in the 2023 draft. Harrison is a well-built, lean tackle with long arms who can keep opposing defenders at bay. The 6'5" behemoth allowed 2 sacks, 14 hurries and 1 hit and 382 pass block snaps. The tackle class currently isn't as good as previous year, but Harrison could be the first tackle to be taken off the board. Smith looks a bit thin if you look at his frame, which isn't ideal. But nonetheless, he's very physical at the catch point and possesses good ball skills. If he can add some weight in the offseason and keep the highlights coming, he could be the number 1 cornerback taken off the board. Levis can sling the ball anywhere he wants to and has a cannon of an arm. He's a well-built, athletic quarterback who can run the ball quite well and gather a lot of impressive highlights. Levis will be 24 once the draft starts, but he has a season to prove teams in the NFL that he is their guy. Smith is the former number 1 recruit of the 2019 class and is a typical speed rusher who just screams off the edge. His tape didn't really improve last season, but he's got the tools to be a dominant pass rusher and is considered to be an athletic freak. Ringo played over 700 snaps last season for Georgia and fared pretty well in 2021. His cover stats are through the roof, but we have to keep in mind that the DBs of the Bulldogs profited from the pressure that the defensive line gave. Nonetheless, he's a great athlete with amazing speed. He's currently the best tackle in college. He's somewhat on the smaller side and not as physically gifted as other blindside tackles, but that's not how he wins battles in the trenches. He scored 80 plus grades in the last 2 seasons and allowed only 4 sacks. Skoronski is a reliable tackle and should impact the game right from the get-go. He's expected to play in the slot this year, once again, where he has shown that he's a reliable option to throw the ball to. He basically catches anything that comes his way. He knows how to get open and is a yak weapon. I certainly hope that we will see him lining up on the outside more often so he can show that he's the potential wide receiver number 1 of this year's rookie class. Breese is a former 5-star recruit and is a freaky athlete for his size. His PFF grades in 2020 and 2021 didn't show that he's a consensus first-round pick, but you've got to weigh in on the fact that Clemson don't always put the defensive tackles in a position to succeed. With the right coaching and team, he will be the guy to be afraid of in the trenches. Abrams Draine is a former wide receiver who is converted into a cornerback for Missouri. He has that dog mentality that teams are always chasing and combines that with awesome ball skills and fluidity in his movements. You can put him on the outside or in the slot. He will make a difference right away. Murphy has an ideal frame to play the S position in the modern day NFL. He just shocks guys on contact and has the ability and athleticism to make an impact for whatever franchise that will draft him. If he manages to get double-digit sacks this season, he almost certainly will wind up as a top 10 pick. Roy has some powerful hands, A+ strength, and has put up 31 pressures last season. He was hot and cold during the 2021 campaign and needs to be more consistent to justify a top 15 pick. Robinson can run routes like a true wide receiver and will be a first-round pick as a halfback, which is quite rich if you take positional value into account, but he's worth it. He's fast, strong, has good hands and is quite elusive, which explains his 97 broken tackles in just 195 carries. Jones is a 5-star recruit who played the left tackle position for Georgia and performed quite well. The former number 1 tackle recruit of the 2020 class has the traits and tools to be an anchor on the offensive line. Simpson is explosive and a fluid athlete with elite pass rush moves. He can cover one-on-one matchups as well and has sideline-to-sideline speed, which he uses to close in on the ball carrier. He's currently my number 1 linebacker in this year's class. Addison is super sudden out of his breaks and is such an easy separator while running his routes. In his 2021 campaign, he accounted for 1,593 yards and 17 touchdowns. He's a playmaker that many teams would like to have in their wide receiver room. Carter is a 6'7", 265 pounds edge rusher for Army. He still needs to refine his pass rush moves, but he already destroys tackles and guards at the level he's currently playing. He accounted for 35 hurries, 15 sacks and 9 QB hits in the 2021 season, and PFF rewarded him with a 93.4 pass rush grade. He's got a mindset, athleticism and frame to be an elite player. Ricks has the ideal size and traits to play the cornerback position. The only real concern is his speed, but if he plays lights out like he did as a true freshman, he will be looked at as a unique talent which teams would like to add to the cornerback room. Dextor is a 6'6" DT who weighs in at 303 pounds. He's more of a projection at this moment and is only scratching the surface as for now. But if he can figure it out this season, well, good luck, offensive lineman. Johnston is a huge wide receiver with an awesome acceleration off the line of scrimmage. He broke an astounding 10 tackles on 33 catches last year and has 19.8 yards per catch to his name. He's just a big play threat. This guy can fly. He's the true definition of a speedback. Achane isn't just a speed demon though. He's elusive and will break tackles on a consistent basis. He brings unique tools and traits to the NFL, but needs to add some more weight to his rather small frame. Beebe is the prototypical mauler that you would like to have in the interior of your offensive line. He can create movement and allowed only 10 pressures last season, which earned him an 85.4 grade per PFF. He's the favorite by some bookmakers to be the #1 tackle taken off the board. The former guard played his first season as a tackle for Ohio and fared quite well. Johnson is a 6'6" behemoth who needs to progress his game to the next level to justify a pick in the first round. Bell is a dynamic player who played tight end and running back for the Carolina Gamecocks. With his 6'3", he hasn't got the ideal frame that franchises would like to have running around catching balls, but teams are currently craving for a player who can play multiple positions. Leary has a good arm and takes care of the football really well and only had 9 turnover-worthy plays last year. He had a fantastic 2021 season with his 31 big-time throws. I can see some teams sneak in the first round to get him due to the 5th-year option. Are these the 32 prospects you have in mind? I'm looking forward to have a conversation down in the comment section. And while you're at it, please consider liking and subscribing so you stay up to date on future content. Hope to see you next time.